Did you meet him after he was in the service? So then you was your boyfriend when he went in though, huh? Was he your boyfriend when he went into the service? Oh, no.
Because we went out dancing and everything, all that before I went into service.
Before you went in.
Yeah, so you were going with him before he went in?
Yeah, but I wasn't going with him.
No.
No, we weren't,
No, you were going in a bunch, kind of, with your group? Who else were you going with?
Yeah, no, I mean, we'd go out dancing and yeah, but,
yeah, we would go
we
out.
weren't serious, let's
Uh-huh.
put it that way. No.
Well, then you sure got married fast after you got out.
Time. How about they have an opening in February? I guess he didn't want to travel from Elmer Park all the time.
So you got married in February?
Yeah.
That was fast. You had to get things together pretty quick, didn't you?
Huh?
You had to get things put together pretty quick. Your gown and everything.
We went together for quite a while before.
Not when you were, well,
We were going off and on, we were going off and on for quite a while.
we were too young.
I like this, man.
We
Like,
were too young.
engagement, long engagement.
Well, you never went dancing with us at St. Stan's, did you?
Oh, yeah, oh.
Did you?
How
Who were
Oh,
you hanging around?
Downstairs there, we were always going.
Who were you hanging around with then?
Guys in Cragen,
Which guys?
well, Eugene Zminda and,
You were with your gang, well, that was way before you went to service. You
Oh,
had
yeah,
your
that's when
gang.
we were doing the dancing though,
but
but
then
I
I used to
remember,
hang
but,
around with a bunch over on Crawford and Foot.
oh. Cause you didn't hang around us.
No,
You were too old for us.
no, it's just a different bunch.
Yeah. Did you go to Foreman?
Yeah, just 2 years.
Oh, 2 years? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't have to pay nothing to send them to a movie or anything, they found their own way of enjoying
That's true.
entertainment. We had to have an imagination at that time, you know, because there weren't that many toys and I couldn't afford it at that time.
Kids were pretty creative. Well, they had to be. You know, there wasn't all these computer games and Nintendo and Game Boy and all that.
Now you got the scooters, we used to have the Kodiotka, remember?
Yeah.
The box, you remember the Kodiotka, Jim?
No,
Boy, you have to interview me so I can tell you.
you'll have your day in the sun. Don't worry.
God, we used to take these crates of the oranges, you know, put it on roller skates, remember?
Yeah, take one roller skate, take it in half,
Yeah.
half in the back,
Front,
half in the
yeah.
front. 2x4 and then put the box on top.
Yeah.
And get two cross for handles for
For
the,
handles, yeah, we used to go down the sidewalk.
You might want to move over if you want to see them, because I'm going to be sitting right in front of you.
Those were the days, I remember we were on Division Street when we did that, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Some made it fancy, they had tins from the bottom of cans for headlights on the front of it,
Oh, yeah.
remember?
they could do a lot of things with it.
We used to make our own thing with the rubber band, what do you call it?
Oh, yeah.
Slingshot?
These same things, yeah, two clothespins and a
Well,
rubber band.
you used to do that, well, rubber bands, or you could do it with a inner tube.
Oh,
Cut the
yeah,
inner tube.
Mm-hmm.
that we used to do with the inner
Yeah.
tube too.
Well, I'm not going to wait for that.
No,
We can
Okay,
start.
guys, gotta be
I'll
quiet.
probably be able to hear you okay. Just to identify this for anybody that finds this 100 years from now, this is Jim Parks, and I'm interviewing Andrew Bud Pasko, my Uncle Bud, who was my dad's brother. And we're doing this in their home in Rockford with his wife Helen, my Aunt Helen, present. My children Matthew and Kayla eating ice cream cones. My wife Mary and my mom Dolores Parks. Oh, I'm sorry. Correction. They're eating drumsticks. Okay. Well, let's just start by tell me when and where were you born?
When and where I was born.
The date. I know we heard that earlier, but just to have it on record. It was May 18th.
Yeah, May 18th, 1921.
Okay.
Now, where I was born was in Chicago, I think, on Fry Street. But they don't have that same name anymore.
Fry Street is gone?
Yeah, it's on Augusta, right near Milwaukee Avenue. It's right in Bucktown.
Okay.
Do you know we were born a couple of blocks away from each other?
Is that right?
Uh-huh. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
I was born on Custard Street. That street's not there anymore either.
No? Did they just take the streets out, or did they
They
rename them?
renamed them.
They renamed them?
Yeah.
Oh, probably for some politician, right?
That's probably why. Somebody just thought up those streets probably before, and the names that they had for them, oh boy.
No, it goes in the kitchen.
So they,
Okay.
The other side
Changed.
of the counter.
just like this, things are changing now. You know,
Your parents' names were what?
my parents,
Your parents' names?
Lillian, their maiden name, or
Yeah.
Lillian Belushik, and Andy Parks, Pasko.
Okay.
And we lived there in Chicago for a few years, not very long. Then we moved out on the farm, out in Des Plaines. When I recollect, now I was awfully young, and I'm just trying to picture some of the stuff that I remember or
Yeah,
heard
that's for you.
about.
Mhm.
Because when you're around 4.5, 5 years old, you don't really
Eat good stuff like
recollect much of anything.
Right.
That's the best. Me too. I like
I'll take whatever memories you can offer up.
it. And this one,
So what, do you remember, was it a working farm? Did your parents work the farm?
But he rented it out. We rented it out from a friend of his. But he worked that other farm his name was Jones. And he would do more work on that farm than he would do on his own. That's why we kept it so small. We didn't stay there very long because my mother got sick. And but will we move back again? I don't remember. Somewhere. Because I don't remember if we were on Boyle Street or not. Was
Back to the city you moved?
yeah.
Okay. And who was in the, what kids were in the family at that time?
Just Jim, my brother.
Okay.
That's the only, Jim and I are the only children.
You're the only kids of Lillian and Andy.
That's right.
Okay. And what happened to your mother then? Was that something that she recovered from? Do you remember how sick she was?
I don't remember much about that at all. Because when she was in the hospital, we couldn't even get to see her. We couldn't. So,
Hmm.
and then I don't remember much at that age because I know we were bounced around. When we were at home, my dad had some people that he knew to take care of us when he went to work and that. So,
While your mom was in the hospital, you mean?
oh no, then after she died,
Oh,
she
okay.
wasn't in the hospital long. And what she died from or that, I don't know. Because it was kept from us. It really was kept from us. But we heard it from the older sister, her older sisters. But, and there, I know we stayed with people that, we stayed with them for quite a while off and on, because even at Christmas time when our aunts would come in to see us at Christmas to bring gifts, we were locked in a room, in a bedroom, when they would go out to store or that. And then that's when they came over. And they couldn't get in, but we could talk to them through a glass door.
Is it the people that you were staying with, you mean? Oh,
Because there's no way for them to get in. And it was cold weather at that time when they did come visit us, I remember that. That's probably why they didn't stick around until they come home.
so you mean the aunts would visit you?
Yeah,
Oh,
because they brought the gifts over for us, and they just lit them out there on the back porch.
oh, okay. Because they couldn't get in because nobody was home.
Yeah.
Oh, how often did that happen?
Well, not too long. Then my Aunt Mame took care of us. And
And whose sister was that?
my mother's sister,
Your mother's sister?
yeah. She had 2 children also. And they were a little older than we were.
And you were about how old at that time? You were still 5, or were you older than that then?
Oh, we were older. I was older. No, about 6, 6.5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, from then, I guess we went on picnics with my dad and with my stepmother. How he met her, I don't know, or anything like that.
Do you remember how much time was in between
No.
your mother died and when you... Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
And your stepmother's name was what?
Helen.
Okay. They get married right away?
Oh, I guess they knew each other before, I think. I don't know if they went to school together or somehow he knew it. From Craven, they're all neighbors out there. And
Okay, and she had
2 boys,
2 boys.
Yeah.
That was Roy and Everett?
Roy and Everett.
Okay.
And
And were they older than you or younger?
oh, they were both older.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of years older. I think Roy was 3 years older than I am, and Ev was 4.
What was that like when they came into the family?
Oh, we all got along.
Did you?
Yeah, we all got along. Because even later on in years, we all played golf together. We were foursome.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, you went to, do you remember where you went to grade school?
yeah, Hanson Park.
Hanson
Well,
Park.
I went 4 years to in Elmwood Park, St. Cyprian's, years to Catholic school, and then that was during Depression. And then things were so hard, we lost our home. So we had to move to Cragen. My stepmother's mother, she had a flat, so we moved in a flat with her.
Hmm.
And
That would have been, you would have been, what, around 8 or so then? Depression was at 33?
something like that, I guess. 7 or 8.
Oh, yeah. You were born in 21, right?
21, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you would have been a little older than that.
So,
Okay. So the whole family did. You and Helen, my dad, your stepbrother, and your 2 stepbrothers all moved in with your stepmother's mom.
yeah,
Okay.
they got, well, not when we lived with grandmother. They got married when we lived in Elmwood Park because we were going to grammar school together.
Oh,
See, when we went to Cragen, that was, then I started in 5th grade over in Hanson Park at the public school.
oh, so you started grade school in Elmwood Park.
School in Elmwood, no, grade school, yeah, in Elmwood Park, 4 years to St. Cyprian's.
Okay.
And then when we moved, I had 5th grade at Hanson Park, and 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I was over there. And then I went 2 years to Foreman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to work. Because it was bad times, and we needed money, so I started out as an errand boy, so it isn't much money, but those days, anything
Yeah,
helped.
everything. Do you remember what your dad did for work after the farm?
Yeah, he was a truck driver.
Oh, over the road or local?
Over the road, and then later on, it was local. And then he also became, worked as a mechanic and washing the trucks. And then he became a full-time mechanic at Nielsen Cartage Company.
Hmm.
And let's see.
What was he like as a father?
Wonderful. Couldn't find a better man. He had, I guess he had a drinking habit, but he wouldn't drink on the job or that, but he'd drink after work.
Hmm.
A lot of times the truck drivers would stop and drink after work.
But your memories of him are generally positive?
Huh?
You remember him in a positive way
Oh,
in
yeah.
general?
Oh, yeah. My dad was great. He helped the stepbrothers learn show them how to do a lot of things, taught them how to be a mechanic and to fix cars. And then later on, the younger one worked with my dad, was a dispatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a good job.
My dad was 2 years younger than you, so he would have been around
He's a year and a half younger than
year and a half, so he would have been 6 or 7 maybe during the Depression time, around that.
Yeah,
What, do you remember how he got along with your dad?
he got along.
He got along okay?
Yeah, all the kids did.
Yeah.
Everybody got along.
What do you remember most about your mom? I know you were very
Very
small when she
little.
was, yeah, you were very young when she
little.
died.
Just a few things. Like out on the farm, I remember a couple of incidents. My dad was teaching her how to drive a a pickup truck that we had, a little pickup truck. And she was going around in the circle there that they go around the tree where they had the road. And she took a little wider turn and sort of took the corner off the barn. And that was the end of that for a while. That I remember. But other things like when she'd take us out to watch my dad use a tractor out in the field. There was one time where he ran across a skunk and he told us to stand in one place. And he had a wrench in his hand and he threw the wrench and hit the skunk and knocked him out. And then he rolled over him with the tractor. But those are a few things that I remember. And we had pigeons in one of the little barns. And that's one of the times your father chopped my finger off.
Oh, tell me about that time. What
Well,
happened?
We were real, he must have been about 3.5, 4, and I was just a little older. But my parents told us to go out and get some firewood. So we went, took a bag, and we were both carrying the bag. Went out for firewood, but there wasn't enough firewood. So we were going to chop some wood. So we put a piece of wood up there, and I was holding it right next to it. And Jim grabbed the axe and lifted up, and it was too heavy, and he guided my way and just hit me across the fingers. But one finger was off, the other was in half, and the other one is partly cut. This one grew back together again. They experimented. They grew back, but I still got a big knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
And this one couldn't go because the bone cracked the other way.
Mm. And do you have motion in those?
Oh,
ones?
yeah.
Oh.
So this is when I fight, I stick a guy in the eye and they can't prove it.
Okay. Now, when did you had a half sister,
Yeah, I had a half sister.
Lillian? When did she come along?
When we lived in Elmwood Park, I think. Yeah,
So you were still in early part of grade school then.
yeah. And she got married and had 2 children. And then I'm trying to remember the one. She got sick too.
Her name is Lillian, right? Lil?
Huh?
Or wait, what? No.
Vivian.
Vivian, that's right.
Vivian.
Vivian.
Yeah.
Okay. My mom's whispering back here. Vivian had 5 kids, she said.
Vivian had 5.
Did she end up with 5 kids?
Helen, how many children did Vivian have? I don't even remember. You know more than about I do.
5,
5?
She did have 5?
yeah. 2 of the
I don't
boys
even
are
remember.
gone already. And, I guess the baby was only 8 months when she died. So I bet she had postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
I really think so.
She committed suicide, right?
Excuse me?
Did,
Yeah.
She committed suicide,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that makes you causes a lot of problems. Like Tom's wife, she had postpartum and went to clinical. Now she too, they had to watch her all the time. She's better now. She goes up and down.
So you worked, after your sophomore year of high school, you got a job as an errand boy.
Yeah.
And how long did you have that up until the time you enlisted?
Yeah, I did errands,
You
and
did.
I also wrapped packages and stuff like that for the factory, and when they come in, and then I became a cutter. I cut out uniforms and boiler suits, woolen frocks for the coolers in the meat markets and stockyards.
Mm.
I did a lot of deliveries out in the stockyards.
Was a clothespin on your nose?
You really need it in certain areas, like the Darling and Company. That's where they skin them. That's where the skins are. That's where it smells,
Mm.
when they skin the animal. Yeah, that was a stinky place in certain areas. But,
And when you were boys, how much did you and my dad have to do with each other? Did you play with each other? Did you hang around with each other, or did you always have your own set of friends?
we hung around with each other, but not much. I had a different set of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you remember about him as a kid? What was he like as a kid?
Oh, he was well liked. We were on the same ball team and stuff like that,
Mhm.
softball, but he never played hardball. And I didn't know too much about, because after a while he left home around 16 and a half, I don't know, somewhere around there. I think he went to live with you and your parents,
By Charlie and Ray Rusk.
Charlie and Ray.
Is that friends?
Ruskowski.
Friends of the family? And were you still living at home at that time?
Who, me?
Yeah, or were you on your own?
Me? I never was on my own.
Oh, okay. So you stayed at home until you went into the service?
Yeah.
Okay, so he left home and was living with some family friends.
Ray and Charlie.
And that was until he went into the Navy?
There went some other people before I went in the service.
Okay. Now, I remember him talking about, I remember my dad talking about some conflict that he had with your stepmother at the
Yeah,
time.
somehow he always figured she was picking on him all the time.
She didn't like him, he thought?
Well, Jim had a very, what did I say, hard to get along with at times. Because if he wanted to smoke, he wanted to smoke. Even as a young kid, he wanted to do what he wanted to do. So,
Sounds like my son. Probably sounds like me, huh? Is that right? All right. So I come by it naturally, I guess.
yeah. But
So he was pretty stubborn, headstrong?
that was what really got him into a lot of trouble. Sometimes he would start fights I would always have to finish.
You would have to finish him?
Yeah, because I was the big brother.
You were a boxer.
Oh. Noah said you were a boxer.
Yeah, I was that way for a while. I was in the Golden Gloves, and they don't hear much about the Golden Gloves anymore. That's the CYO.
Mm-hmm.
But I never took it up professionally. I was an amateur fighter. That's all.
But you were good, right?
I wouldn't say that good.
No?
Yeah, he was good.
You have a fan club back here, so
You were
they're
good.
disagreeing with you.
Well, I had 118 fights. I think I lost 19.
I would say that's very good.
Because I used to fight in the parks, like for politicians, like they raised them for votes and that. We used to put on fights, and the CYO always did, helped out that way.
Didn't you fight in the Navy?
Oh, I fought in the Navy, yes, also, off and on, like the Army, we fight the Army or Air Force at different times.
Since you brought up the Navy, how did you, you enlisted,
I
right?
enlisted, yeah.
And did you get a choice of the branch, or did they choose that, did they just put you in the Navy when you went to enlist?
No, I had a choice, but what do you call it, draft was getting awfully close, so I joined before they drafted me.
Mhm.
And I tried to get in before, earlier, but my mother wouldn't let me.
Well, she had 3 boys in already.
Oh, so Roy and Ev were already in?
No, it was just Roy was in.
Oh, Jim was in.
Jim went in, when did Jim go in?
I think after you.
After I did, I think,
After?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't long after, but there was 3 of us in, and then there was 4 of us. My older stepbrother also had to go, even he was married and with children,
Did he get he got drafted?
yeah,
Oh.
so,
Hmm. Yeah, that must have been a little worrisome for her to have all 4 of her sons in at the same time, but you all came back.
yeah, that was the good thing about it.
Why did you choose Navy? You remember?
No, I don't know why. I like ships and that, but,
Weren't you going to join the Air Force, but you had...
oh yeah, well, that's, I wanted to get in the Air Force in the Navy. I mean, even if I could get into the ground crew as a mechanic, because my dad was teaching me as much about him being a mechanic as he could, and I thought that would help me. But I couldn't get in the Air Force at all.
Did you
It
have
was
a
filled
heart
up.
Didn't you have a heart murmur?
I had a heart murmur, but that didn't.
I thought that's why they didn't take you. You misinformed me.
Uh-oh. I knew there would be a problem with me doing this.
You know, there probably was something like that, but a lot of this stuff seems to leave me too.
But I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
You know. Oh yeah, that's right, for altitude and for the test.
Mhm. And so you were what, how old were you when you joined, do you remember? Had you been 18 then, or
21.
21? And my dad joined about the same time, a little bit after you?
Yeah.
So he would have been a little bit younger when he went in.
20.
He was 20?
Because he was in 3 years, he was 23 when he went out.
Okay. And where was your action?
It was in Africa, Sicily, Italy, and France. And then I got a 30-day leave. After that, all those were over, and I was sent out to Okinawa in the Pacific on another ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was on an LST, landing craft ship. It was 355 feet long. It carried tanks, trucks, and also soldiers and all types of artillery.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a flat bottom, so we only hit the beaches, the ramp would go down and they would drive off. But they carried, when I first got in on the ship, they had small boats that they had on 4 boats on each, 2 boats on each side. And that small boats, they carried 25 soldiers, fully packed, and we hit the beach with them. And
Did you do mechanic work then?
I worked as a mechanic on the diesel engines. But if you ask me to be a mechanic now, I think I forgot everything I knew. Because everything has changed. They got these computers and something that you never fiddle around with.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has worked unless they still got some of the old cars yet.
Yep. We saw an old Beetle up on off of Business Route 20 up there on the way here. Still have those around.
In time, kids won't even know what an LSC was, because, you know, they disband them. They're
Yeah.
not in service anymore, though.
Hmm.
It's not gonna be the same kind of a war.
Oh no, well, it's changed a lot. Did you see any combat or?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was in 4 invasions,
Oh.
and every one of them was first wave, so
Did you have many close calls?
yeah, many of them.
Tell them you refuse it.
Huh?
Tell them you refuse the Purple Heart.
Oh, well, I just got a little scratch and
That's what he said.
Don't they all say that? I just had a little scratch.
Yeah.
well, see, it happened in Normandy with a diving fighter plane dove and dropped some bombs and also was strafing. And one of the shells hit the captain right in the head, right through the helmet and all. Killed him instantly. And there was four of us that, or 3 or 4 of us that sort of got scratches. And we just got little scratches with a little blood. They said we could get a Purple Heart. We said we didn't want a Purple Heart. Not for that. It's just like getting a scratch on the hand. It was a shrapnel that cut us. Like today, I'm sort of sorry, like my wife said, I could have got a Purple Heart and
Your grandkids could go to school, college for nothing.
Is that right?
Really?
Dad have a Purple Heart anywhere? Not in those closet upstairs?
Can we dig around a little bit more? Start looking though.
he had a dangerous job though, Jim,
Yeah.
on a tanker.
Yeah. The sister ship like that.
You remember anything about that? What he did?
No, I never saw him or even saw a ship. I
Yeah.
just saw the picture that one time I had.
He never, almost never talked about it. I remember maybe once or twice him telling us stories. One time, I think a ship that he was traveling with got pretty much cut in half, I think,
Well,
by a torpedo or something.
You know, what you go through and all that, you can't really explain anything to make people understand because it's hard to, unless you go through it yourself. People trying to tell us, if they say, oh, that's terrible, you know, it's nothing to it, but you just can't express yourself to make people believe what it's really like. Because when you, like we take dead bodies out of the water and line them up on the shore and open up their jackets and put their dog tags out, have the medic examine them if they're dead or if they're alive. It goes, I mean, one thing after another. See, you do a lot of things that you never thought you'd do. Unconsciously, because you're supposed to. Somebody's always better rough, in paintings or something like that. We just helped a lot of them go on the hospital ship or something, whatever, if we're able to ourselves. So, because a lot of the first wave guys that went in would hit mines that are floating mines or stuff like that, and so you walk through the rest of the water fully packed. I mean, those guys really went through hell. But
You feel like you were lucky to make it out alive? Because there
many times.
were that many close situations, huh?
And you never know how many people you kill yourself. Because, well, I had a man-machine gun when I was, because I didn't have anything to do until something would happen, and I had a man-machine gun.
Was that on the ship, you mean, or on
On the
on
small
land?
boat.
On the small boat, okay.
On the ship, well, when I was on duty down below, because I was in below decks, when I was off duty, I had a man a 20 millimeter on the top side. That's for aircraft and all that came by. So we had a variety of jobs. So,
Did you get letters? Did you get letters from your family while you were in? Were you able to
Oh, yeah.
communicate?
well, a lot of the stuff, I threw all my letters and that away. I didn't hang on to them.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it I lost, because our ship was in a typhoon, and a lot of it was lost at sea. My sea bag and all that stuff. Because we got caught up on a coral reef in a typhoon, and it just ripped the ship up.
When did you know Aunt Helen before you went in? Or?
Into the service, yes.
You did, okay.
Because I met my wife through my brother, my oldest brother. He was going out with her sister, and that's how we met. And she was a wonderful wife all these years.
Ding, 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 ding.
You
I'll
heard
get
that.
off now.
Well,
Did she write you while you were in there? Did you write him letters while he was on service? Did you? Every day?
Can I tell you an incident?
Yeah.
That happened when we went, when we went to the reunion, that's all right, you don't have to put that on.
No, it's so I can hear it better. The microphone's on the camera here.
We went to the reunion, and, people are talking and laughing and having a great time, and then, somebody looked up, and somebody else looked, and all of a sudden they looked up, and it got real quiet, and they was watching this man come in, and he was, he had a cane, I think, and he was, he was limping. And then they all got up and they ran and they hugged him, and they thought he had died. Because one of the ships, I don't know if there's one that you were on, got hit, and he was floating in the water, and somebody pulled him out.
yeah, it
And
was an
it saved
LST.
his life.
It was an LST like our
I'll never
ship.
forget that. It just sent chills down through you. So that was really an experience, just to see that.
Yeah,
So they went
what kind of,
through it all.
was that a Navy reunion or?
Yes. The LSTs.
Oh,
It was nice. And they wouldn't go to any other because nobody from his ship was there. They wouldn't even go to the one in Chicago. That's not right. We're going to the next one. If I go myself, we're going. Excuse me, I'm going to go sit down.
Especially when it's here.
But that was an experience I'll never forget.
let me jump back before the Navy a little bit and
Okay.
see what kind of things you might remember about your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Pick one of the neighborhoods, either Cragen or Elmwood Park. What was
Well,
Elmwood Park like?
When we moved from Elmwood Park, we moved to our grandmother's place, like I said, and that was on Laurel Avenue. And then later on, as we were growing up, we moved to Latrobe and
Farther east?
Palmer. That's it. And stayed there for a while. And then we moved to Laverne Avenue in Palmer. And
What'd you do for fun?
for fun,
Hmm.
played baseball most of the time.
Yeah.
And
Like dancing,
swimming,
dancing.
dancing. Oh, that's where Dee goes. She went dancing to St. Stanislaus.
Going to the Cubs training.
Yeah, I've heard about the St. Stanislaus dances. They're, huh?
Didn't you see about being asked to be in the Cubs training?
Well, they asked,
What?
when they asked you to go into the Cubs training
Cub-
to play baseball.
Oh, yeah, after, when I was playing hardball, they had a
Scout,
out there, and he asked me if I wanted to go to training camp out for the Cubs. At Kellogg's Cornflakes, they put it out. But we couldn't afford it. And at that time, it was bad times.
Oh, they didn't pay, the
They
team didn't pay for it?
No, they
Oh.
didn't do any of that. You had to pay for your own.
he would have been a good player.
And then you had to prove yourself in the first place too, if you're good enough, so.
Hmm. So you could have been on the Cubs in better times.
Well, you could have been in their training camp and then they may ship you somewhere else to
Oh, I see.
another minor league team.
Hmm. Yeah, but I keep thinking that, if you'd been able to do that, you might have changed the history of the Cubs and they might have won. They might have a winning team.
Yeah, sure. Like, look at Sammy Sosa can't even do it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
one person can't.
Yeah. Well, then, from Laverne Avenue, let's see, where did we move again? Well, before we moved to all these other places, oh yeah, we lived on Long Avenue in Palmer, right across the street from the school. And got an apartment up above the store. And that's right near where your mother lives.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Was it, has that always been a strongly Polish area?
Yes, it's been a Polish area.
And it was then, when you were
And it
small?
still is, yeah. But it's a lot of mixed right now, but strongly it's Polish area.
Uh-huh. Did either of your parents speak Polish?
Yeah, my mother spoke Polish. My dad didn't speak, just knew a few words.
His stepmother.
Mhm.
And my stepmother and grandmother talked Polish all the time, even talked to us. We thought we knew what we were talking about, but they were talking about it.
Did your grandmother, your stepmother's mother, did she come from Poland? Was she born in Poland, or is she first generation American?
I think she did. I think she did.
Mhm. Now, there's some Bohemian in the family, right?
That's my mother's side.
That's from your mother, from Lillian.
Yeah. My
Okay.
dad is on the Polish side. My mother is from Bohemian side.
Was she all Bohemian? or-
Yeah.
Okay. So you were half and half.
Half and
My
half.
dad would have been half and half,
Yeah.
too. Okay. I probably didn't hear that. The peanut gallery said something about Bohemian being the stubborn side.
The temper, Bohemian temper.
Well, I don't know, my mom's not Bohemian. You probably just picked it up from dad, right? The stubbornness, it just wore off him. I don't know, maybe not. What else do you remember? Do you remember anything else about the Depression? You still would have been pretty young about then.
Depression, well, my dad had a hard life.
Was he able to continue working during that, or did he?
Oh, yeah, he would work in different places. He would get part-time work somewhere, and he was a piano mover. He used to haul a coal in, anything that, and they used to carry those 2 bags at a time, those coal bags, and put them down in the sheds, coal sheds.
You said he had a hard life?
He had a hard life. His veins popped out of his hand like that. You wouldn't see his arm, you'd see all the veins.
From all the carrying?
And all the hard work that he did. But like I said, he had a few bad habits of drinking.
Did that cause problems at home?
Yeah. Caused problems at home.
What would happen?
I think there's a lot of arguing.
Your mother and him?
Yeah. As far as my real mother, I never knew much about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that he did a lot of arguing too with my mother, through others.
Mm-hmm. After you got out of the Navy then, did you, how long was it before you met or married Aunt Helen?
I got out in December of 1945, and 1946 of February, my wife and I got married.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, the reason we set it for May, we had the hall and everything set for May, and because it's hard to get a hall at that time. And then a guy called us and said he could get us a February date. So we took the February. I said, okay, I'll take the February date. And it worked out.
That was all right with you too, huh?
Oh, he called me first.
Oh.
I should have said no.
What do you remember about your wedding?
What I remember about my wife?
About your wedding?
About my wedding?
My feet.
Well, it was a wedding. It was a big wedding that it shouldn't have been a big wedding. It should have been a small wedding.
Why do you say that?
Well, at that time everything was hard. Trying to make a big wedding out of it. But it worked out all right though. And that was the wonderful part of it. Because we had to do everything ourselves. We didn't have no help.
You mean all the arrangements and
Arrangements. My wife made the dresses.
No, I didn't. Margaret's mother did.
The wedding dress?
No, I bought it.
They bought the wedding dress, but the ones that stood up,
somebody's mother made? Who's Margaret? Who's Margaret?
Friend of ours.
Oh, a friend's mother made the wedding dresses.
Not the wedding dress.
Oh, the bridesmaid dress.
Bridesmaids.
Right, you bought the wedding. Yeah. How many people did you have?
hon, what did we have, 300?
But we invited about 150, 300 showed up.
What?
That's not nice.
Yeah.
That's not the way it's supposed to go.
It was ridiculous. Well, you know, they just kept coming. They were afraid to put the food out because they wouldn't have enough. So what's the difference? Put it out, you know?
When it goes, it goes.
Yeah,
How did it work out?
looked at
It
it.
worked out all right.
Yeah.
People there you never saw in your life before, they were there.
Who's the best man?
Weren't you there?
They always all said somebody brought them with, but
Hmm. Do you remember where you had it?
yeah, Lions Ballroom on Grand and North Avenue.
Wow.
You know where that's at?
What year?
That's not too far from us, Grand and North.
How old were you then? You got married 56 years ago?
Trying to think. Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's
in the
Grand
city.
Avenue.
Yeah, I'm
You're thinking of North Avenue and Grand, but the Grand is, that's way west of there,
yeah, you're talking about in the city,
yeah.
Grand and North, uh-huh.
I don't
You
remember.
had to look at your
I
wedding.
know where that is.
All I remember is my sword.
And where was your honeymoon?
Montreal, Canada.
Oh, yeah, they didn't mention that.
Yeah, what a,
I don't know why I'm not there.
we had, it just started to snow out here, and when we went in there, it was blizzards.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid.
Did you drive?
No, we took a train.
Oh, you took a train out there?
We didn't have a car. Who got a car then?
To go to Eagle River? So were all your brothers out of the service then for your wedding? Well, I suppose my dad would have been the last one discharged, right?
Yeah.
Because Roy and Ev probably
When
would have been
did,
out.
when did Jim get discharged?
Jim, you got the papers.
Yeah, I don't know the date.
I think 45. Yeah.
I don't remember when Jim got discharged.
They had 45 or 46.
He was the best man. in their wedding.
Oh, he was?
Was he the best man? Jim?
Mhm.
They wanted Jim to marry her girlfriend.
I don't think Jim was in the service
We didn't want
She-
that.
when we got married.
She liked him.
Jim was out of the service when we got married because he was my best man.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, he was out of service.
No, I think she was going to hell behind by then. Because I don't remember that.
Where did you live then after you got married?
After we got married, we lived on Costner and Belmont. That's the place my wife was renting with her sister and her girlfriend. And then later on, we moved into my aunt had an empty flat, and we moved into
On Lawndale.
their Belmont and Lawndale.
Yeah.
Other than getting married, what did you do after the service? Were you able to
Well-
find work right away?
Well, I had to find another job. The job that they supposed to get wasn't there. So
What happened with that? You mean you were promised a job?
well, you're supposed to be promised from your company that you leave to come back,
Your old job back?
the job back, but and that was my uncle's place. Well, I mean, he wasn't the head of it. He was the head of the cutting department in that. But I ended up, I started working for the streetcar line. I worked for them for a little while, and then I worked on the elevator. I was an elevator conductor on the Lake Street elevator, part-time.
You do have a sharp memory.
And then I got a job at, when I got a job at Hart Staff and Marks. Yeah, I got a
You and Al. You and Al remember.
So with the clothing company, right? The
clothing
suit company.
company.
Did you do the same thing that you had been doing?
Cutting suits out.
Cutting?
Yeah. And then,
Then he got a job from, remember I worked with that woman whose husband worked for that oil company, and he got a job there.
in the where?
What oil company was it?
Oh, haha,
Mexico?
No.
not Texaco, no.
They merged with somebody. Did they merge with Texaco?
No, it didn't merge with Texaco. Pure Oil, it merged with Pure Oil.
Yeah, he worked for them. And then a computer replaced them.
Yeah, and when the computers came in, they replaced some of the engineers.
That's because you were trying to get the union in. Dummies.
Yeah, see?
That's what happened. It is.
Uh,
That's so funny.
And then I,
You worked for Amoco.
yeah, well, I worked for Crochelle Engineer,
Yeah, Amoco.
and we were hired out to Amoco Research Lab. They made plastics, and I was a building engineer in a powerhouse, and then I went into a separate building later on.
Where did you get training in engineering?
Well, my-
Service.
My service experience and the test I had to take. I had to take tests for, and when we got, after we lived in Lawndale and Belmont, we finally found a place, after I had the job for a while, we found a place out in Wooddale, Illinois. We stayed there, 10 years? And then we moved to Colorado because the planes drove us out. The airplanes
From O'Hare.
From O'Hare was getting so bad. So we stayed out there, but everything didn't work out so good out in Colorado, so we left there and came back. The kids one of the kids didn't want to stay out there. He'd leave home, so.
We should have sent him back.
What was your contact with my dad like after the service?
After the
Yeah, how much did you guys talk to each other?
very little.
No, we used to get together, remember?
We had a few gatherings,
Played
parties and
cards,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
Quite a while.
But I mean, we didn't get to, we played golf.
Sure we did. You
Four
and
of us played golf,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Three of you played
until
golf.
something came up that, I don't know what kind of an argument came between my oldest brother and Jim. And Ev still don't know what it is, why Jim got mad. Jim never mentioned it. We tried to find out, but what it is, why they got mad.
Over a golf game?
It's something on the golf course, whatever took place there, or whatever they said. But then, seen less and less of each other. Because, well, we lived farther away and everything too. So.
Mm-hmm. When did you start having kids?
Started having children.
Yeah.
Well, when was Mary born? 48?
The end of 47, I think.
End of 47?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
She was in May.
Yeah, well, that's right, in 47. Well, she was born in May of 47.
Yeah, a year after you were married.
Mm-hmm.
A year later?
Yeah, Bud.
You
we did live in another place yet too.
On Belmont.
Racine Avenue in Belmont, right near Cubs Park. We didn't stay there long enough. What?
It sounds like, did everybody move around a lot? Because when I had the time with her family, they moved a lot too when they were younger. And was it just moving from apartment to apartment, or
Try a better place to live, in a bigger place.
bigger place?
Everything was, your family is growing and your house is smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And we had to rent, nobody was buying at that time, everybody was renting, so as you have more kids, they look for a bigger place.
You lived with us. My sister lived with us too up until Drew was born.
Oh, yeah?
Then she moved to her girlfriend, her mother's house, they had a little apartment upstairs. She moved up there. Remember, Miss Rogers? Mill moved upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So she lived, but she lived with us for many years.
Alright?
Mill. Mill.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, not Laura. She was married before we were.
Yeah.
So Mary was your firstborn,
Right, Mary.
and then
Judy came later.
how much later?
Mary was 18 months when Judy was born.
Okay.
And then Andrea came.
No, yeah, 4 years later. Isn't that
Four-
weird?
4 years later.
And then a year and a half after that, Drew came.
And then,
And I had another rest for 4 years when Lori was born.
and then Drew came. He was about a year,
No, 4 years.
I mean
No,
Drew.
A year and a half. Andrea and Drew were a year and a
Yeah,
half.
a year and a half, then Drew came, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
And 4 years, Lori came.
Lori was 4 years after Drew?
Yeah.
Oh. And was everybody, let's see, when you moved from Wooddale, you moved to Winfield?
moved
Or
to
where'd she go?
Colorado.
Oh, from Wooddale to Colorado.
Yeah,
Okay.
To Glen Ellen. Then we lived in Glen Ellen.
Oh, we didn't mention Glen Ellen
That was
either.
a nice place.
So we moved around a lot.
That was, when you came back from Colorado, it was to Glen Ellen?
I think so.
Or was that before Colorado?
Oh, after.
After Colorado? Where in Colorado were you?
God, I always remembered it, now I can't.
Green something or other, Green?
Small town?
Was it Green something or other? Oh, shoot, I remember it all the time. too. I didn't want
Not,
to go
not Vail, not Vail, Green,
there. You know that was.
they were gonna hold the Olympics there, and I can't remember.
Okay.
Well, was in the mountains.
Green something in the mountains. And when you moved to Glen Ellen, were all the kids were still with you at home?
No,
No, Mary and Judy were.
Oh, they had left already? Had they left before you moved to Colorado?
Well, Judy stayed. She didn't go because she was going with Jim, and so she didn't go with us to Colorado.
Okay.
and, well, there was only Lori and,
Well, Judy was still home.
in Glen Ellen?
Judy came back home too.
Oh,
But she was she stayed with Neil when she was working at the hospital.
oh, that's right.
She was an inhalation therapist at Resurrection. So then she stayed with Neil. So,
And then we moved from Glen Ellen, we moved to Winfield. you wouldn't believe, you think we moved around a lot, but we did, but
Yeah, we did.
we stayed in those places 10 years or 17 years in Winfield and
Mm-hmm.
She stayed, that was
10 years in Wooddale and
nice retirement.
It's over a long period of time.
time, yeah.
It was all brick. And
And what was your first impression of my mom when you met her? When my dad started bringing her around?
More space.
Oh, we got along good because we went out different parties and stuff like that. But
Did you get to know her brothers and sisters too?
oh yeah, Al, I knew Al real well,
Yeah.
and Verge, but I didn't know her husband right away,
Ray?
Ray.
No, but you know, she was married and she divorced, and so she was single for about 9 years. Mm-hmm. Before she remarried, Ray. So you wouldn't have known Ray because she was going out. She was married the first time, you know, for just a year, and then she divorced and was single for 9 years. And she was just so busy working that she didn't hang around us too much. Or Honey didn't hang around us either. Honey had her own crowd.
that was a tragedy with this too.
Anything you want to ask?
Hmm?
Anything you want to ask?
You through with all the questions?
Yeah, I've kind of gone through all mine.
Doesn't know what he's doing since he's retired.
Well, we used to go to quite a few places when you retired.
Yeah,
You know, when he first retired, we had to go out to lunch every day. Every day we had to go to lunch.
What?
Ask him.
I don't know,
We had-
just formed a habit, I guess.
Oh,
Just 'cause you
yes,
could?
I
No,
had
we-
to go to lunch.
We were always going out. That's when every time you go out,
Uh,
you're out somewhere later than lunch. Then you'll say, let's grab a snack.
No, we had to go to lunch every day. I don't know how long it went on.
You didn't want to cook.
Just like now, you say, we're always going out, we're going to the store.
Because we don't have
There's a
anything.
picture of Uncle Bud boxing in the bedroom.
Yeah, there's a few pictures around.
Oh,
of that.
okay. I'll have to snap through those.
Mhm.
Get some on the video.
Yeah, there's a picture.
I like your pillow with your wedding
Here, if
picture.
you-
Yeah, I saw that
Your
too.
pillow with your wedding pictures.
Oh, Mary did that.
Yeah.
She
That's
did
nice.
that.
If you want to take a picture of this laying on the ground with his gun, maybe you
Well,
want
I don't know, but that's what he had. to
You
do.
saw my boxing picture, didn't you?
Oh,
So
that's,
he pulled
yeah,
it
that's
out
not
of
one.
Huh?
the water.
Don't be silly.
Awfully dapper there.
Yeah,
And I
that's
don't know if he took the other boy.
That's a nice picture.
And she did,
Uh-oh.
right?
the woman that
Yes, his sister did. So I don't know what happened to the kids.
two of them are doing.
That's neat. Where's the, let me see.
This is a
Bev's
half-sister?
kids.
Who's Viv?
His half-sister did. Yeah,
And
they went
she's
to
the one who
they
had
went
5
to live
children?
with
Huh?
Don. They went to live with Don's sister, Bev's kids,
Oh, yeah.
and
Who
then
adopted the baby?
she was raising the baby. I know the boys went to his sister.
Was raising, I thought somebody adopted her.
This was after she died
I never
then?
heard that. Huh?
This was after she died?
Uh-huh.